Welcome to episode 13 of Gathering Nature. What are we going to be discussing today? I tell you who knows. Natasha Lloyd knows because she's an incredible medical herbalist. Let's go and find out what's on today's menu.
Hi there, Natasha from Scotland, and I'm down by the river again, and there's a lot of plants down by the river. And this one is the wonderful, bright St John's wort, Hypericum perforatum. Lovely plant. It's called Hypericum perforatum for the perforations in the leaf. You won't see it on this video. I'll maybe do a little one for you later that shows the little perforations in the leaf. And yeah, let's have a good discussion.
St John's wort, bloody wonderful. Okay, Nat, let's chat. Lovely Natasha Lloyd. Lovely to see you again. Today we're going to talk about St John's wort. How super exciting.
How great to see you, Jaden. It's always such a delight.
Actually, I feel I bloody need it, to be fair, but let's discuss it.
Yeah, well, it has a lot of different properties. A lot of people know it as its antidepressant effect because it works on the GABA receptors. So it does have that property, but it also has other properties that often get forgotten because people just often want to put a plant into one box. Mm-hmm. Does this, and that's not the case for most plants. They have many boxes that they fit in and do many different things, which is an absolute delight when you work with them, because you can think, oh, this person needs this for their stomach, for their digestion, but then if I use this, I can also, it will do that as well. It will aid their circulation at the same time. Mm-hmm. And that feels so nice to be able to do that, hit two bases in one go.
Absolutely, or more. So with St John's wort, yeah, it is famous for antidepressive qualities, but what other boxes does it tick?
It ticks a few other boxes in that it is also used for digestion. That's why it was in my brain about digestion.
Okay.
And can really soothe a digestion and aid its motility along the digestive tract.
I guess as well, our stomach being the emotional centre of our body as well, I guess that's also part of that. If it's calming your emotions down and making you kind of just feel that kind of sense of just, okay, everything's going to be okay, I guess it stands to reason that it will do that with your digestive system as well, right?
Yeah, well, you've got more serotonin receptors in your gut than you have in your brain, so that would make a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Especially if you've got a small brain like me and a big gut. What else does it do? Tell me.
Oh, that's its main uses that I would use it for.
Okay. And how would you use it, and what parts would you use? Let's get into the nitty-gritty.
Oh, I've just remembered another use.
Tell me.
But we'll come to that as we use it. So I would mainly use it as a tincture or as a tea.
Right. Leaves, flowers, stem, root, off what?
Mostly flowers and a few leaves, but mostly flowers. And as I remembered, flowers, you can also use it as an oil.
Okay.
And they're a yellow flower that when you put them in oil, turn red.
Really?
Yeah, so that's fun.
That's pretty cool. That's like school chemistry stuff, that is. I love it.
Yeah, I like all that. And then it's really good topically for nerve pain. Excellent.
Really?
And really good for shingles and neuralgia and stuff like that. Brilliant.
And you'd use that as a tincture for that?
No, that would be the oil.
Okay.
Topically.
Okay. And what about, how would you use it for depression? Would you just eat a shed load of flowers?
Yeah, so I would use that as a tincture, which also...
You make it into a tea?
You could make it into a tea. It just depends if that person is a tea Jenny and makes lots of cups of tea during the day, so you just replace a few with your herbs.
Okay.
But for convenience, most people use tinctures.
Okay.
You can buy capsules, but if I've spoken before, I'm not a great fan of capsules. You need 1 ml of... one capsule is equivalent of 1 ml of tincture.
Right.
And dosages are roughly 5 ml 3 times a day for a mix of herbs. So that's 15 capsules a day.
Right. Yeah.
That's a lot.
All gone every 2 days, pretty much.
Yeah, and most of the ones that you buy don't have enough in, or are just been sat on the shelf for too long.
Right. So tea tincture or oil are the best ways to do it, and mainly the leaves and the flowers. What about the stem and the stalk? Do they get used in anything?
I've not used them and I'm not aware of them being used for anything. Let us know in the comments if you know of any uses.
Okay. The flowers, we've talked before about roses and things like that, and dandelions, when you can actually use the flowers, you could almost just eat them straight off the plant, obviously, if they were, clean and everything. But is that the same with St. John's wort? Can you just munch on a flower that's in the garden? Do you have to, or could you put it in a salad? Has it got an interesting taste? Have you ever done it before?
No, I haven't done that. Now you're making me want to go and find some to do such
I want a
things.
photo of you chewing on a St. John's wort.
Okay.
Like, I mean, chewed the cow with it just sticking out your mouth like that.
I'll get that for you soon.
Lovely. So you could just eat the flower then. It's not poisonous. It doesn't have to be treated in any way. It's
Not, no.
no. Fantastic. What else can we do with it? Any other ideas?
It's not one that I use as often as I think I should.
You carry on the way you've been going, sister. You might have to have it for a bit of calming, to be fair. Being worked ragged.
Yeah, a few days ago I was like, oh, moan, moan, moan. And then the day after that, I just went, actually, it's a real privilege to be doing so much work with plants. Stop moaning.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet. But I think that St. John's wort might just calm you down a little bit, give you that little bit of extra deeper rest and relaxation.
See, for me, that would be chamomile, lime flowers, and viburnum opulus gilda rose. They are the ones that make me go.
Really, never heard that third one. We need to talk about that in one show. I think that would be wonderful. Okay, so I think we've covered St. John's wort.
I think we have. There's probably absolutely loads more, but
we covered the basics. And are you people at home, how do you use it? What do you do with it? What are your traditions? What are your cultures? What's been passed down from generations about that flower? Let us know in the comment section. Please don't forget to like. Please don't forget to subscribe. Did I mention subscribe? Please subscribe and please share it with all your friends, neighbours, family and enemies as well. But I'm sure there's got to be something magically about this. I think we should go and check out Jackie, see what she's got to say.
Definitely be some magic.
Let's do it. Jackie, what's on your plate? Okay, let's go and chat to the wonderful, the glamorous, the elegant, wonderful witch of the West Country, the amazing Jackie Thackway, and see what she has to say about St. John's wort.
Hi, going to talk about the magical properties of St. John's wort. It's a really popular plant that is used to treat low moods and depression, but magically it's quite a pokey plant. If you use it for protective magic, it's really good to place the flower, the leaves, the stems, anything dried in a jar, and you can leave those jars on windowsills. That will act as protection for the home, but it's also said to protect the home from thunderbolts and lightning, so that's quite a good one. It's associated with Midsummer's Eve. And if dried over this time of the year, over the midsummer, which is roughly about the 24th of June, not the 21st or the 22nd, which is the solstice, but the 24th. If it's dried around this time when you're lighting the beacon fires, it's believed to keep away ghosts and evil spirits. Again, it's more common for that to be hung in the window. It's really good to burn in an incense along with other herbs and resins if you are trying to facilitate a group discussion or a way forward if people are stuck making a decision. And it's really good to burn in an incense or again to hang nearby to reach a consensus in a large group. It's said that if you wear St. John's wort, it will hold off fevers and coughs and colds. And it's also said to make soldiers invincible. So it's there to give you courage and strength when you need it. So if it's really good to make soldiers invincible, It's really good to give you the courage to face the things that you might want to face, whether that's telling somebody something that's quite difficult or approaching a difficult situation. To carry a sprig of St. John's wort is there to give you courage. If you put it under a pillow, if you're an unmarried, this is a lovely old folk tale. If an unmarried woman puts it under her pillow, she'll dream of her future husband. Because it is a plant of the summer solstice and midsummer, and the colour of yellow, the bright coloured yellow petals, it represents the sun itself. It's also said to protect against witches, and it was used back in the day, several hundred years ago, during the witch trials to identify witches and force them to confess. And they would do this by holding the plant up to their mouths, hoping that the plant itself, with its connections to the John the Baptist and Christianity, would force the accused witch to confess and tell the truth about her witchcraft. And like I've said before, it bestows strength and resilience in all kinds of situations. Really lovely herb, and it's a wonderful thing to grow in the garden as well. So that's the magical uses and folkloric uses of St. John's wort.
Absolutely amazing. Thank you, Nat. Thank you, Jackie, for giving us all this wonderful information. People at home, please don't forget to like, to share, to comment, and the three of us will see you next week on Gathering Nature. Take care. Don't forget to subscribe. Did I mention subscribe? If you could subscribe, that would be lovely. See you next week, kids. Bye-bye.